When you find a situation where you need some inspiration, there's an open invitation. This could be a revelation. It's true. Well, do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Okay, we're just going to dive into a super quick video on the anatomy of Google Sheets. All right, so up here in the top right-hand corner, you know that all of your documents are going to default to an untitled title. So you're going to want to just click here to rename it. Make sure you do that as one of your very first things. Over in the corner, this is not something I've mentioned in any of my other videos, so I want to make sure I start mentioning it. But in the corner of all of your documents, if you click on the button, in this case, it shows you the icon for Google Sheets. It will take you back to the Google Sheets home screen. So this is where you can search for any other sheets that you've made in the past, as well as access their templates. So the exact same spot in all of your other formats, whether it's Google Forms, it will be a purple with a Google Forms icon in the corner, or Google Docs is blue, or Google Slides is yellow. So you're testing all of my Google color schemes here. It will take you all back to those specific home screens. As you know, I function the majority of my time in Google Drive just to keep everything nicely organized. But I have specifically used the Google Sheets home screen or home area to find templates. I think their templates are really, really helpful. So I probably use the Google Sheets templates area more than any others. So just a heads up on that. Okay, this section is your toolbar menu. So that's going to be where you can insert images into a spreadsheet. This is going to be where you can kind of format any formulas or change the format of some of your cells. But you've, of course, got a shortcut bar too, which I'll talk about in a minute. This is where you can do some of your data validation, which we'll talk about in a later video. And this is where you can add add-ons, which we've talked about briefly if you've taken any of my other courses. I probably use add-ons within Sheets more than anything else, especially when connected as a sheet to a form. So a form response sheet. I use add-ons like they're going out of style. So that's the toolbar. Over here in the corner, you have your share settings. So, I mean, I think it's just important to recognize that a lot of the functionality of all of your Google Suite of products is going to be the same. So this is how you're going to be able to share with your team or change the share settings, because it automatically defaults to just you having access. One thing I've noticed when working in spreadsheets with a collaborative team, and this has usually happened for me when we've done like scope and sequence work, for example, using a spreadsheet to just kind of organize our thoughts for a scope and sequence seemed to work for us at the time. But I quickly realized that while it is a live collaborative document, unlike a Google Doc where you can see a colleague typing in real time, in a spreadsheet, when a colleague is typing within a cell block, a cell area, you notice that they're typing there because the cell is highlighted, but you can't see what they're typing live. And in fact, one person could be in the exact same cell as you and typing at the same time as you, and you guys will negate each other's work. So you just have to be cognizant of that when you're using spreadsheets as a team. You also still have in this corner the ability to insert comments within the sheet. You also can add a chat history and chat with other people that are also in the sheet while you are. So be thinking about those pieces as you consider using Sheets in a team environment or as a group work activity, which I think I will talk about in a later video. All right, so your shortcut toolbar. You have access here to, I'm going to start kind of over here in the corner, obviously access your printer, redo and undo. You also have access here to copy formatting from one cell to another or sections from one to the other. This is going to be the percentage viewed of the screen, so you can zoom in if you need to see more. This whole section allows you to format the data within the cells, so changing from currency to percentages to decimal points, etc. This is where you can change and format the text within a cell. So yes, you can add different fonts and different sizes of fonts, change your color. I mean, spreadsheets do not always have to look like this, right? So we're going to talk about that in some of our later videos. This is where you're going to have access to change the cell itself. So background colors, borders along the cell, merging cells, that sort of thing, changing the text, centering the text. You can also change the text to be kind of like moving in a vertical, or this one, This is the one I'm thinking of, moving kind of off at an angle. This one is to allow you to wrap your text or to have your text bleed through to the next cell. I tend to like the wrapping feature so I can actually read what's in each cell. And then over here in the corner, you have access to hyperlinking within a cell, commenting on a specific part of the cell, and then sorting and formulas and that sort of thing over to the side. Okay, I think that's it for that one. Okay. This is the formula bar. So this is where you can edit and enter data. Sometimes I find when I'm typing quite a bit of text, sometimes it's easier to edit the text up here at the formula bar than within the cell point. Remember that if you would like to add additional like returns within a cell, you have to hold down on the shift button. I'm pretty sure it's either shift or command in order to get that extra space or extra return. Otherwise, when you hit return, it's just going to go to the next cell below it. So keep that in mind. So sometimes I find that easier to do here in the formula bar. All right. A column, right, is this group of text that can run, that runs vertically. And you can, in fact, come up here on the top of the column and press and hold to move your columns to the right or to the left, which we'll talk about later in another video. We also have rows that run horizontally. Again, you can shift and move those up and down by grabbing, pressing, and holding and dragging up and down. You also have the cell, right, where you can copy, edit, delete text. You can also drag and hold here in the corner to copy that content from one cell to the next, which we'll show in another video. And then down here at the bottom, you have your sheets toolbar. So every spreadsheet can have multiple sheets. So if you're working, like I used to use spreadsheets as kind of my data control center to hop into either all of the different websites that my students had. So each of my students built a website in their English class. So I had a data dashboard, one for each core block or period, where I could jump into each of their websites really quickly because all of their names by roster were on the spreadsheet, etc., and then hyperlinked to their website, or hyperlinked instead to their website to their current essay, so that I just had one document up on my screen, and as I was moving around talking with kids, I could jump into their document really fast. And so I would do that by having a different sheet for each block and just toggle back and forth by clicking on those sheets, and then double click on where it says sheet 1 to just rename that sheet. Okay, that's it. I think that's all I wanted to talk about for just kind of the basic navigations. And then you'll dive deeper with me in the upcoming videos. For every video, I have a practice spreadsheet, except for I think this next one, I think you're just going to create a spreadsheet blank and we'll just type some stuff into it. But all the other ones, you're going to make a copy or force a copy of my practice spreadsheets, and then you're going to manipulate them with me as you're watching the video. Please scroll down a little bit and notice that you do have access, because it's a YouTube video, to slow down the speed of my video or to speed up, right? And don't forget what I used to tell my students all the time, the power of the pause button. If I am going too fast, pause. Do what you need to do to catch up. Rewind at any time. This is a virtual course, which means you go at your own pace. I'm going to be providing, I think, 3 PDU credit hours to complete the entirety of this course. That's because all of us are going to complete it at different varying times. So please go at your pace, the pace that feels comfortable. Speed me up, slow me down, pause, rewind as needed, and we'll dive into the rest of the course.
We're living for that day. Oh,